Hello everybody. It's no secret that even the biggest, coolest companies can epically fail. Well, firstly, we're all human, and secondly, when hundreds or thousands of people work on a product, someone will surely make a mistake. Just imagine, what if, for example, someone brought a MacBook to the launch of a new Microsoft product and put it in the most visible place? Yes, it would be a real scandal. In any case, here we have 10 of the most epic fails of the biggest companies. Let's get it on. Face ID. You probably know that one of the most discussed fails of 2017 occurred unexpectedly in the iPhone X presentation. Terrible. The new facial recognition feature that Apple smartphone owners were waiting for just didn't work. When Craig Federighi picked up the iPhone X to show the device to the public, he said the new phone model could be unlocked with just a glance. One move and you'll have full access to the technology of the future. However, instead of unlocking the gadget, a screen asking for an access code appeared.
No! God, please, no!
It sounded pretty ridiculous, but Federighi didn't get confused. He took out another iPhone X in his hands, and this time the Apple product recognized the vice president from the start. And the reason for this behavior was quite simple. While preparing the device for the presentation, the Face ID system tried to identify the face of every employee who held the device in their hands. But since none of them were actually Craig, after several failed attempts, the iPhone did what it had to. It demanded a password. Apple representatives said this only proves that the face recognition system is reliable because it worked as intended by its creators. Network problems on the iPhone 4. The iPhone X recognition error is not the first in the history of Apple presentations. In 2010, when the company introduced the iPhone 4, Steve Jobs tried several times to load the New York Times webpage using the Safari browser on his new smartphone, which was being shown to the public. However, after several attempts, he failed to do so. As we later found out, the problem was not with the new iPhone, but with the Wi-Fi network in the building, which simply couldn't withstand the large number of connected devices. I want to break free. In 2010, the Swedish company Volvo decided to use its S60 sports sedan to showcase a new automatic braking system. The idea was that the car had to make an emergency stop when registering an object in the way. But during the demonstration, the sedan suddenly decided not to stop and crashed into the truck on its way. Fortunately, there were no victims, which can't be said about what happened in 2015. That year, Volvo wanted to show how the new XC60 crossover was able to park on its own, thanks to an assisted parking system. But this time, the spectacular show for journalists got out of control. The car wouldn't stop in time and even knocked down 2 viewers. It looks like Volvo developers are doing something very wrong. Microsoft's frozen tablet. The next hilarious incident occurred in 2012 at the presentation of the Microsoft tablet, causing a lot of discussion. Everything would have been fine if it weren't for the Microsoft Surface tablet that stopped working while it was in the hands of the company's manager, Steven Sinofsky, when he was trying to demonstrate the device's performance. But the interesting thing is that this happened when the Microsoft representatives started using the
Internet Explorer.
Rookie mistake. We don't know exactly what caused the problem, but the device refused to follow the manager's orders and simply stopped working. After several unsuccessful attempts to make the device work, Steven was forced to use another tablet to continue the presentation. Michael Bay's escape. In 2014, a very funny incident happened at the annual CES exhibition, which traditionally takes place in Las Vegas. Samsung Company presented a new television with a modern curved screen, and especially for this event, invited the famous film director and producer Michael Bay. Apparently, they had enough US flags and explosions to lure this guy to the event. However, as was discovered in the presentation, Bay doesn't have much ability for speeches. Anyway, the show host asked Bay to talk about his new movies. Michael began to say something, but soon went quiet for 5 seconds, after which he apologized and just left the stage.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Of course, the audience was perplexed and didn't understand what had happened. As we later learned, the reason Bay escaped so unexpectedly was the teleprompter, which broke during the speech, and without the electronic assistant, Michael just couldn't continue. Or maybe the new TVs were so great that Bay literally ran out of words. Boston Dynamics. If you know the name of this company, you've probably seen at least one of their videos. Try to remember. Strange robots, very different from sci-fi movies, walking on different surfaces, and evil people who try to shoot them down with all kinds of improvised objects. Not to mention a banana peel placed directly on the slippery floor. But this company doesn't hate artificial intelligence, and the developers are not trying to make robots hate humanity and start the rise of the machines. In fact, these tests are necessary to identify weaknesses and possibly avoid what happened at the end of June 2017. Back then, at the Congress of Future Leaders in Science and Technology, one of the company's founders, Mark Ribert, presented a robot called Atlas, demonstrating his skills live. Yes, this is the robot that can organize boxes and let itself be carried away by chaos and fall desperately to the ground. While on stage, Atlas successfully performed all the tasks that the operator ordered, but then something went wrong. Maybe Atlas went the wrong way, but at the end of the presentation, the robot just fell off the stage. It turned out that, at the time, one person had already taken control of the intelligent robot and didn't notice a spotlight on the stage, causing Atlas to fall. Bang! But don't worry, everything's fine with the robot, and it's even learned to do a backflip. Blue screen. Now let's travel back in time to the days when the Windows 98 operating system was not yet available. Can you guess how many years have passed? In any case, during the demonstration of the USB plug-and-play function of the Windows 98 at Comdex, the attempt to connect a scanner to the computer didn't result in a brilliant functional device, but in the presentation for the spectators of the famous blue screen of death. Ugh. Let's hope no one in the room at this time suffered a heart attack and no medical help was needed, because frankly for a second they were really scared. But judging from the video, the audience reacted with laughter. And Bill Gates joked, claiming that Windows 98 sales had not yet started because of this mistake. Family problems. How about another story about errors in Microsoft presentations? It seems that many people enjoy these stories as much as they enjoy Apple's mistakes. This time, Windows Vista was the one with the error, a system that can certainly brag about having many ridiculous errors inside. But the problems during the presentation are much more noticeable and fun, right? At an official event, a company employee wanted to show the new voice recognition features to the public, but suddenly the presentation got out of control. According to the plan, the young man started dictating a letter to his mother, but the system misinterpreted the first word, and instead of mum, it wrote aunt. Why is that? Honestly, we have no idea. Maybe the soulless machine doesn't understand such a complex human relationship. But the problems with the presentation didn't stop there, because when the employee tried to quickly erase what the speech recognition program had written, Vista made another mistake and kept on typing. Fortunately, it was just a little message, and not an order for all technical devices to kill all humans. Otherwise, who knows how the presentation would have ended if it hadn't been turned off in time. Apple and BlackBerry. When the BlackBerry company announced pop star Alicia Keys as its new creative director, it seemed like a good idea, but very soon on the star's Twitter page appeared a publication made with an iPhone app. Wow, really embarrassing mistake. Of course, the message was quickly removed, and Alicia claimed that she'd been the victim of hacking by bad people, and that she preferred BlackBerry products. We can only believe her. However, a couple of years later, some quite meticulous users found an advertising publication on the official BlackBerry Twitter account made via the app for Apple devices, and this despite the existence of a special Twitter client for BlackBerry. Wow, that's awkward. Olympic rings. Last but not least, this is not a company's epic fail, but we simply can't stop talking about it. After all, it happened during the Winter Olympics in Sochi, Russia, one of the most expensive in history. Some claim that the same amount of money was spent at these Olympic Games as in all the previous Olympics combined. Can you believe it? During the opening ceremony, 5 large snowflakes were to become the Olympic rings in the air, but by a mysterious mistake, one of the rings remained off. Yes, it never appeared. And although broadcast directors very quickly replaced live images with footage from the rehearsal, the internet had enough information to make fun of it. By the way, Konstantin Ernst, the main producer and screenwriter of the ceremony, claimed to have found the responsible for the incident. It was, according to him, the Irish. Wait. Ireland? Russia? How are they connected? But according to Ernst, the Irish experts were in charge of maintaining the parachutes responsible for the rings and accidentally dropped one of them during preparation. But seeing their sleepy, exhausted boss, they just didn't dare to tell him. We just have to thank them for the laughs and for giving us one more story for our list. So tell us, what are the most incredible mistakes you've ever seen? We look forward to your stories in the comments, and don't forget to like our video if you enjoyed it.